This was what was waiting for me. Nice little resort on the beach, and Wendy. In a few hours, that is. For now, I was still in Lisbon.
So here we are walking around Lisbon with the guys here, my friends, brought me over here. We're gonna eat some more. I think I'm gonna have eaten so much that I won't have to eat for like 2 weeks. Lisbon is nice, man.
Being back in Europe always surprises me how clean and organized things are. And the amount of food available, like this local specialty.
So again, more food. A Portuguese specialty. It's called a little Frenchy girl. Francesinha. So a young French girl, a young French girl. That's the name of this food. And I'm again drooling because I'm hungry, even though I had breakfast. Now I'm definitely not going to eat for like a whole week.
Then we went on a maritime-themed visit with our local friends. This looks similar to countless scenic waterfronts around the world with bars and shops. Don't get me wrong, it's nice, but a bit cookie-cutter.
That is the waterfront here in Lisbon. There's a bridge, reminds me of the Brooklyn Bridge, and then the Golden Gate Bridge too. I used to live under the Brooklyn Bridge and it made the same sound. And this looks like Golden Gate Bridge. There's a beautiful woman here, check this out.
And here is one of several bachelor parties we saw the past couple days. Ah, the British.
Hey, we are having fun.
Finally, time to fly out. But wait, is my flight canceled? Turns out no. With the help of a kind and pretty TAP associate, she showed me that I simply read the board wrong. The canceled flight was on the left. I was good to go. Several hours later, I woke up here in Santa Maria at the place I rented for Wendy. Very nice, except for one thing. The island's water system was down. I'm actually out looking for a toilet solution. Turns out that the staff told me to get a bucket in our room and fetch water out of the pool to flush.
I'm get Wendy out of the bed. There's a cute white girl.
All right, gotta do with what we got.
All right, time to get Wendy out of bed. Let's get out of here. Too many tourists here. Too many white people. Time to go back to our roots. Oi, Wendy, corda.
We found a good lunch spot before going back to Galopin. Taxi drivers were there. That's always a good sign. Then we hopped on a shared taxi for a cheap ride home. I was all excited to fix up my outboard with my new parts. Now it's time to get to work on the dinghy. I've got the new carburetor. I've got the new throttle cable. And now I've just taken everything apart. And I'm gonna show you what I think was the problem or is the problem with the old carburetor. somebody tried to patch up or glue this little tube where the fuel intake comes in the float chamber. And there used to be glue around there when I cleaned it out the first time, and that got clogged up in the little jets. And then now I think it's gotten worse, and I didn't dare try to unscrew it to clean it, certain that it would break. So that's why I replaced the whole darn thing. And then as far as the throttle cable, well, look, much better, right? I think that's definitely the way to go, to get a new one rather than this thing, right? Let's hope that that's what the problem was or is, and was resolved with the new carburetor. Now, I'm going to keep this old carburetor for parts and screws, or you never know. Most of the pieces here are still good, except maybe for the gaskets and little fuel diaphragms that are probably tired, but you never know. I wanted to get also a choke switch, but it didn't have a place that delivered within 3 days. I tried Amazon and eBay, but they wanted like 2 weeks to deliver stuff, and I didn't have that time. So let's see, let's put this thing back together and cross our fingers and deal with the choke like I've been dealing with it. Well, I put in the carburetor and everything, started her up. It was revving really hard, and I was like, oh, and then all of a sudden it stopped. I couldn't kind of control it with the throttle, but it was. Then I started again, revved up really hard, tried to control it with the throttle, and I wanted to adjust the mixture screw for air and fuel, and all of a sudden it just died. It just stopped, and now it won't start. I messaged a friend of mine here who lent me this mooring, and he came by with a fisherman, and you're gonna give me a ride on land to see if I could talk to a mechanic, because I think this is beyond my expertise. I have a feeling the piston rings went on this, because when I try to start it, it doesn't have that same feeling of compression. It's too easy, and there's a spark in the plug. I checked it. There's fuel. Oh, so now I'm dinghy-less.
So I'm waiting for a mechanic to come and help me out with my dinghy. Meanwhile, I had a grog and some fried moray eel, man. I like the little villages here, man. It's too cool.
The day before, the mechanic could not get the outboard started, so he had to take it to a shop. I brought the dinghy back to Galopin, and next morning, the mechanic, Jeffrey, came by to fetch my motor. He took the engine apart piece by piece, and when he got inside, he found the problem. The bearing here exploded. He had replacement parts and installed them, except for the piston and rings. It's damaged. Looks like we're gonna have to wait for a new part. Waiting is part of the no-stress culture here in Cabo Verde. Right now, we're waiting for friends to hang out on a Sunday afternoon. Before rolling out to Galopin, some fried moray eel and beers were in order. Now time for the four of us to climb aboard the dinghy and row. Wendy was doing really well, even with the wind.
Okay, we've got special guests here on Galopin. Laura et Diandro, Papillon, Capverdian.
I showed Deandro Steve McQueen as Papillon.
Por que vou fazer isso? Nada a ver na papillon próprio.
Sim, nada a ver.
Todos gente gosta da minha lasanha.
Everyone loves my lasagna. I make it with ingredients I find locally, so it's always a little different. Then they went home. Laura's pregnant, so we had to behave. Once they were gone, we misbehaved a bit, and Wendy worked off a little of that lasagna. Hello, welcome to Galopin. These are our studios, man. This is where the magic happens. It's humble, but it gets the job done. It's because of the great people like you on Patron who make this happen. This Living Adventure series. I hope you'll join our community. We've got some extra perks like live updates, news, photos, videos, and I've even taken a stab at writing some short stories which are not for general audiences on YouTube. And our friend Graham from Australia set up a WhatsApp chat to aptly called Galopin's Cockpit. Guys from all over have joined, and it's this community that's contributing to the continuation of this Living Adventure series. If not, you can always watch us for free on YouTube. Make sure to give us a like or a dislike, make a comment, make your opinion heard. I'll try to get back to you. Thanks for watching this episode of Voyage, a real Living Adventure series. It's not fake, baby.